This review contains major spoilers, so we're just letting you know. I'm gonna catch you! I'm gonna catch you! Except it's gonna be an accident because I'm way too nice to actually purposely cut your face off. Edward Scissorhands, what can I say? I went in expecting not to like this movie, pretty much because of the premise of it. It's just so silly. Can you imagine the inventor? Well, I don't have hands yet, but what could we use in the meantime? I know! We can use something dangerous that could potentially lead to a lot of harm. But somehow it worked. I liked the movie. I'm not in love with it, but it was enjoyable. You got this great acting. I mean, you got Johnny Depp. Need I say more? Johnny freaking Depp with those dreamy eyes. In this movie he plays the original emo kid, and what a great job he did. Good job, sir. The pacing of the movie was also pretty good. It didn't feel long at all, and it wasn't long. The score fit in with ease and was enjoyable to listen to. But something that really caught my eye and that I really enjoyed was the juxtaposition. All those colors, and then you got Edward in the middle being the only contrast. This is really just the story of a uniform town coming in contact with something different. I lived through that, so I can relate. Especially the way people used me and my innocence of this whole new world just for their pleasure. And I can also relate because of that time that I stabbed that guy and threw him out the window. What? If you like Tim Burton, you'll probably like this movie. It's very Tim Burton-y. It's a sad story of a sad man. There are many theories for his sadness, but I think the strongest one is because of the day that he found out what masturbation was. That was not a pretty sight. But that's why that very tight black suit doesn't really bother him that much. But it's a good movie. I recommend it. It's quite sharp. It's a bit cutting edge. And it's maybe a little bit old, but it doesn't feel rusty. Okay, sorry, I gotta cut it out. This is getting out of hand. Damn it. I did have two issues with the movie. And what do you know? The two issues oppose each other. First, well, maybe I have a little bit of a bias against Edward just because I was always told never to run with scissors. But I just don't get how Kim fell in love with Edward. Don't get me wrong, yes, you can fall in love with someone who has scissors for hands. I just don't think the movie really explored that relationship enough for Kim to basically risk everything for Edward. Especially since she was such a jerk when she first met him. I don't blame her though. How would you feel if a pale scarred up man with scissors for hands was always looking at you? I mean, she's still totally a superficial slut, but I can totally see why she was so defensive against him. This is just nitpicking though, because this is a movie where a woman practically has an orgasm over a haircut. A movie where a guy thinks it's smart to have a fist fight with somebody whose fists are razor sharp blades. But Edward did make it snow, so I guess it does make sense that she would fall in love with him. You know it, guys, just make it snow and you'll get them girls wet. Because it's ice. Ice melts and it gets you wet. The other thing I didn't like was the unnecessary sad ending. There's movies that end in a sad mood, but you feel that that's the way they had to end. Not for this one though. The movie's end is actually quite silly and sad and stupid. The house is just up the hill, you lazy idiot! Would it kill you to pay a freaking visit? But that's just my opinion, and I bet some people consider that a perfect ending. But let me tell you who doesn't agree with you. Edward, you soulless monster! See you later, crocodile!